What's going on, guys? Trey back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be a poll style video. What I want to know for this one from you guys is, did you like the death of Shane or did you not? Give me a thumbs up if you liked the death and you thought it was well done, justified, and everything, and a thumbs down if you didn't. Me personally, when I first basically heard, if you guys don't know, the plot of this episode, as well as possibly some of the season finale, was leaked by AMC a while ago. Some idiot on 4chan was basically posting, all throughout the season, a lot of details about it. Not only that, but AMC also, I believe on their website, they posted for the Blu-ray. They talked about Shane's last episode in the description. And quickly after, they took it down because they were like, oh, snap, we haven't actually released the episode yet to show that, so big time spoiler. So it was let out, beforehand. When I first heard about it, I was like, no, because Shane is just such a cool character for the show. He's so interesting. He's such a badass, and when he does, and he does things his own way. Some of the most exciting scenes in the show have come as a result of what he's done. Opening up the barn and finding Sophia and shooting down all the walkers in the barn. I mean, so many cool scenes with Shane. Just so many. I can't even name them all. There's just so many cool scenes. So it was really nice to have him in the first season. Really nice all the way through the second season. And, most of us thought pretty much that he was probably going to die at the end of the first season. And we were actually completely wrong when we saw that he didn't, because, as you know, in the comic book, he dies within the first 6 issues, and there's about 93 issues. So he doesn't make it very far. In the TV show, I like that they gave him more time because I think that's a really interesting dynamic to have a character like Shane, who was literally Rick's best friend before all of this happened and cared about Rick so much that he took care of Rick's family when he thought Rick was dead. And that's the thing about Shane, is that Shane's not a bad guy. He's just got a couple qualities that pretty much screwed him over in this situation. He's hot-headed, and he saw the decision that Rick was making by letting Randall go as being stupid, and basically proved to him that he's right. Rick cannot protect this group and lead this group. Everyone's doomed if Rick is in charge. And I have to agree with him. You can't let Randall go. Even if you drive far out and you let him go, if he makes it way back to his group, everyone at the farm is dead, unless they leave the farm. If they're going to let Randall go and leave the farm, then they could do that. But, still they could be tracked, and, that other group is going to want blood. I mean, they killed 3 of their guys. They basically, when it comes to Randall, beat the crap out of him. Shane shot at him twice. Daryl was going to kill him. I mean, they were going to execute him like so many times. And, you just can't let him go. It's just the dumbest decision you could ever possibly make, regardless of, Dale's pleads to, humanity and ethics and morals and what's morally right. Survival-wise, you can't do it. It's not the right decision to make. So, you can relate to Shane. You can see that. Shane is pragmatic, and he's not only just that, but he's right. That's the thing about it. He's right about this decision. In order to keep the group safe, and, for Rick to keep the group safe, you can't let Randall go. You can't. It's crazy. You can't do it. So we get to see that, like Shane saying to Rick, so it's back to that now? And he can't believe that Rick is being so stupid. And then that drives him to the point where he's just like, what else am I going to do? I gotta kill this guy, or else Lori and Carl and all the rest, everybody's dead if they let this guy go. Everybody. And Shane knows it. Shane knows that they're all dead if they let Randall go. So he goes out and he kills Randall on his own. Now, here's the thing that where Shane goes wrong. That was the right decision to make. The wrong decision was that he then decides he's going to kill Rick, and he basically, plays this whole, trap for him, essentially. And when it comes down to it, he's not able to actually do it. It goes back to that hot-headedness of Shane again. And it comes down to the question of who is a better leader. I did a video of this, Rick or Shane, who's the better leader, a while ago. You go check it out. And the thing about it is that Shane, even though he's, logically a better leader, he's emotional too. But his way of being emotional is that he gets really angry, and he does things like this and goes to kill Rick. He doesn't want to kill Rick. It's just that he's so frustrated and so angry with how dumb Rick is being, and how stupid it, the decisions are that he's making, that he basically goes, okay, Rick can't, protect them. I have to kill Rick in order to protect them. But he can't when it comes down to it. Shane actually, can't pull the trigger, can't do it, doesn't want to shoot an unarmed man. And we get to see a great scene where Rick basically does what he needs to do, and then basically says that Shane pretty much made him do it. Wow, I mean, I think that the way that this episode came together, the way it was shot, everything about it was just fantastic. The best episode, I think, of The Walking Dead ever. Creates that resolution to the whole issue of what was before, that link to the past of, before all this stuff happened. And also, too, you can't forget what Shane did for Rick. He saved his family. Shane saved Lori and Carl. Otherwise, they'd be dead now. They would not be alive. They wouldn't have made it this far. And he also saved Rick, too, because he propped the door so that basically the walkers couldn't get in the room with that bed, was it? Yeah, sliding bed. He propped it. So, I mean, Shane's a great character, and it's a shame to see the character like that die, but in The Walking Dead, I mean, that's what The Walking Dead is. Eventually, everyone's going to die. I think, too, people may disagree with me on this, but I think eventually, when we get far enough in the comic book, maybe not the television show, but for sure the comic book, I think eventually we'll see the death of Rick, and I think we'll see Carl take over as the protagonist. I really do think that's going to happen at some point in time. It may be 5 or 10 years from now in terms of the comic book, but I think eventually it's going to happen. I think so, because I think we're going to see the death of everybody. So it's very interesting to see all these things come about. I don't like to think of Rick as being dumb, because his decision was basically, let's let Randall go because I'm emotionally upset and distraught from what happened to Dale. So let's just let him go. Even though it's going to kill us all. Rick wasn't right either. He was making a really dumb decision, and he, as a result of that, he made Shane act this way. And then you've got Lori coming in, basically letting Shane know that she would still be with him if it wasn't for Rick. So you've got all this conflict inside of Shane of what he's going to do and this kind of stuff. And even though he loves Rick, he hates him because Rick's being so dumb. And and also too, Rick is not prepared for to be the leader of this group. Shane probably would be the better leader, even though he's emotional. At least he's not going to let a guy go who's going to go back to his group of 30 guys with assault rifles and let them know exactly where you are, so they can come down and just annihilate all of you, because that's what they're going to do, guaranteed. So probably the governor's group, actually, those of you guys who have read the comic books. So yeah, I just want to know what you guys thought about the death. Even though I say all of this, I think that it was a very well organized death. I think it was the best episode of The Walking Dead we've had. I'd like to see in the next the next episode we're going to see a lot of zombie action and stuff. It's going to be very exciting. But eventually we got to see some flashbacks and stuff like this at some point, where Rick sort of reminisces on what happened to Shane. I'd like to see maybe John Bernthal, do a few scenes in season 3 as just flashbacks to Rick. Maybe Rick's thinking about some times before and this kind of stuff, and just see some flashbacks with him. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, because John Bernthal has been in talks to play a character in Frank Darabont's LA Noir series, and some other things too I've heard for John Bernthal. Definitely a great future for him, because he's done a fantastic job on The Walking Dead. Just amazing. And also too, if you're going to have a season finale, you want to have something big happen. And there's nothing bigger you could have happen than killing off a freaking main character in the show. Like when you look at season 2, Shane had so much time on the show. Probably my favorite moment of his in the show is where he's, there's in Pretty Much Dead Already, when Rick is being dumb again, and he's got he's trying to, he's not being dumb. He's trying to appease Herschel, and he's got the what do you want to call it, like the zombie metal rod with the rope on the end, so that he's pulling it into the barn. And then Shane comes like running down, and he's like, what is that? And he gets all mad, and then he pulls open the barn. I thought that was one of the coolest scenes in the whole show. Very, very cool stuff. And the other thing too is that whoever really nominated Rick as the leader, because Shane's got to feel a little bit screwed over. I mean, when you think about the character, he's got to feel screwed over, because Rick just marches in, and he's got this group. Shane built this group, and he's the leader of the group. He built this group, and and they're all surviving. They're doing well, and then Rick waltzes in and just like takes over, even though nobody really puts it to a vote or anything. He just takes over the group. And, Shane gets totally shafted just because of the fact that Rick is back. And at one point, he's happy that he's back, but again, he's pissed because then obviously he can't be Carl's, surrogate father anymore. He can't be with Lori, this kind of stuff. So he's depressed about that. And, there are other directions we could have seen, Shane go in the series, but I feel like this was a really justified end for him. I would still have liked to have seen Shane maybe. Here's a cool synopsis for you. Let's see, maybe Shane and Andrea leave the group, or maybe Shane leaves the group and goes to the other group, and the other group kills him, which would be a nice setup for a war between the group of 30 guys and Rick and the group at the farm. Or maybe we just see Shane go off on his own for a while and try to survive on his own. I think that'd be interesting. Just, and every so often, every episode or two, just flip over to Shane on his own, trying to survive by himself, fending for himself completely alone with nobody else, from the group around him. That would be very, very interesting stuff. But that's not The Walking Dead. In The Walking Dead, the comic book established this and the TV show is going to follow suit. We need to see character deaths every so often. Okay? You can't go through an entire season without more than one character death. You got to have at least 2, maybe 3 character deaths in a season. And going on forward, that will be constant. I think we're always going to see 2 or 3 character deaths per season, and that's part of what makes the show so interesting. If nobody died at all, like any of the time, the show wouldn't be as exciting. And even though we get to see those characters go on and see them survive, it would become too unrealistic. Because it is realistic that when Rick's being dumb, Shane's going to get mad. And Shane's a hothead. So then Shane, goes back and wants to be with, Lori and Carl and the others, and realizes that Rick is not well suited to be the leader, which he isn't. He's not well suited to be the leader, but maybe he's the best they have in the group at it. So yeah, and then you see them two go at it, and in the end, Shane can't do it. He can't kill his friend, but Rick can. So in a way, Shane was wrong about Rick saying that he knows what it or he basically knows what to do to keep them safe, and Rick can't keep them safe. In that moment, Rick showed that he can keep them safe because he kills Shane like that. The problem, the hole with the whole story is that Rick says he's going to let Randall go. That part should just be erased right out. Completely erased right out. Just erase that out of Rick saying that, and have Shane just all of a sudden grab Randall and bring him out into the woods and do that whole thing with him anyway, because of what Lori says. That would have made the story absolutely perfect. But because Rick was being dumb like that, saying we're going to let him go, drive far away and let him go, that makes it more along the lines of like Shane is right than it should be, because you hear the music in the background and it's like, like evil music while Shane's like, slapping himself and getting ready to bring Randall out and kill him. So I think that that's one thing I would change about it. But other than that, I felt the death was very well handled. I thought it was great, even though it would be interesting to see, Shane's character go out on his own and see what he can do by himself, and or maybe join the other group, and this kind of stuff would be interesting too. That's not The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has character deaths often and a lot, and that's what makes it so exciting, is because people are dying all the time. And, even the main cast, like Shane was a main character of this show, and he dies. And that makes everything just feel, same with Dale, everything just feel, very dangerous in the show. So while I felt like Dale's death really sucked and wasn't justified enough and just made him look really weak, I think that Shane's death was very well done. Very well done. Except for that one thing I would change. It was pretty much perfect. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you thought about the Shane death, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and what you would change about the show, or what you would change about that sequence that led up to the death of Shane. Later, guys. Peace.